This is the latest addition to the Triumph 400 family, the Tracker 400. Now the name is 400, but this has the 350cc engine. So it belongs to the same 350cc family that Triumph has. This was done a few months ago to keep the bikes under the 18% GST bracket, and this one too is derived from the same 350cc family, but it is a very different form factor, and I'm going to tell you all about this motorcycle in this video. I have done a detailed walk around in a previous video. The link to that video will be in the I button, and just for a refresher, we'll take a look around the motorcycle, tell you what's different here than the other Triumph motorcycle. So let's get started. Now, starting with the front, you will see a similar or familiar headlamp. This belongs to the Triumph 400cc family. You get this nice half ring DRL and this section right here with the Triumph logo inside. And of course, this is a LED headlamp. You get LED turn indicators as well. And in typical Triumph fashion, the round headlamp with this silver surround. But what's different here is this fly screen. You don't get it on any other motorcycle. So this is one unique feature that stands out for the Tracker 400. Then you have upside down forks, and then these wheels. These are alloy wheels, but these are twin spoke alloys, as in you don't have the steel spokes, but they kind of mimic the spoked wheel that you usually get. And it has been done to keep that retro classic look. Do let us know what you think of this implementation. Then right here you have this large radiator grille, then you have the engine, and then you have this bash plate here to protect the underbelly of the bike, and you can do a little bit of soft roading. So when you are going on bad patches of road, it will protect the engine. This right here is the 349cc engine, and it has been powder coated. I really like that treatment. It looks really nice. And right here you have the TR series badging. That's the name of the engine here. And then you have this nice exhaust moving all the way back. It's an upswept exhaust with twin pods like you see on the Scrambler, but the heat guard, it is a little different. And then you have a nice large wheel at the rear. This is a 17-inch wheel on 50 by 60 section and MRF tires, but you do get a knobby pattern right here, so telling you that you can take this off-roading as well. Not hardcore off-roading, again a little bit of soft roading. You can take it on bad roads. You see the same pattern on the front tire as well. These are also MRFs. So overall, that's the look of the motorcycle for you. Right here you're going to get this big piece with the 400 badging. This is an ode to the flat track motorcycle that were used for flat tracking and the OG Triumph Tracker. And then you have this seat. It's a single piece seat, elongated, nice cushioning here, nice and wide for the rider. The pillion gets a grab handle. Now you would say there's a cowl here. Where can the pillion sit? This cowl can be removed very easily, and if you're riding solo, you can put it on. If you're riding with a pillion, it can be removed and kept away. I also like the design of the tank. It's a nice retro looking tank, full metal here, and you get this offset fuel filler, which is a nice retro look, and I like the finishing on it. The tank is not very big. The capacity is 13 liters only. So if you're touring, you're not going to be happy with this size. You would want a bigger fuel tank. Then you have a wide handlebar here. So that is another characteristic of the Tracker. You get this nice wide handlebar, and you have this rounded mirrors. Decent, not the best, but you do get a decent visibility of the rear. Then you have this typical Triumph instrument console. You have the speedo on the left hand side, all the telltale lights here, and then the small screen which gives you the tacho, the gear position indicator, the fuel gauge, the odometer, and all your messages, warnings will be shown here. USB port is right here on this side. It's nicely hidden, and you can use it to charge your phone and your other devices. Now let's take a look at the rider's triangle. Very easy to swing your leg on it, and both my feet are flat on the ground. My height for reference is 5'9", and as you can see, this is nice and wide. And the footrest, yes, it is a little rear set. It's not as rear set as the Thruxton. The Thruxton is the cafe racer motorcycle, and it is more rear set, it is more committed. Also, the handlebar on that is lower, so you sit in a very committed or a very aggressive, sporty riding position. That's not the case here. Here it is a bit relaxed, not as relaxed as any commuter motorcycle like the Speed 400, but it is kind of commuted, a little bit sportier than that. Let's take a look at what the engine sounds like. That's what the engine sounds like. Do let us know, what do you think of that? Other than that, it is a pretty rider friendly motorcycle. I will say that the Thruxton is much more committed. This one is much more relaxed. So if you took a test ride of the Thruxton, did not like its riding position, this one might actually please you better than the Thruxton. Now let's get riding and see what this motorcycle is to ride like. Now, after spending some time with the Tracker 400, I can tell you the engine character is quite similar to that of the Thruxton 400. Though the seating angle is a little different, the engine behaves quite similar to the Thruxton. Now, the engine puts out 40 PS of power, 32 Newton meters of torque, and this torque, 80% of it will be available to you from 3000 RPM itself, and it shows while you are riding as well. As soon as you twist the throttle, the bike wants to dart forward. You will feel that sudden surge of power as soon as you cross 3000 RPM, and it will accelerate very, very quickly. So if you're riding on the highways, you want to make quick overtakes, this motorcycle will not disappoint you at all. However, in city riding, you're going to have to be careful with the throttle. Now, you do get ride-by-wire like the Thruxton, so you get that instant response from the throttle itself. The gear shifts, they are very nice and smooth. I did not face any issues with that. However, it's not very tractable, so you will have to make gear shifts when you are riding slowly in traffic conditions. So if you're riding at about 30-40, you will have to be either in the third or second gear. That being said, the throttle response is absolutely amazing, and you will have a lot of fun on this motorcycle. Now, something that you will want to get used to is the wider handlebar. It is quite wide as compared to a Thruxton or a Speed or any other street focused motorcycle. This is a wide handlebar, and making those U-turns and parking the motorcycle, it will need a little extra effort than it would usually on a regular motorcycle. Other than that, I like the seating on this better than Thruxton. So in my opinion, if you thought that the Thruxton is too aggressive for you in terms of its riding position, the riding posture, I think you should take a look at the Tracker 400, because this one does not have the committed stance that the Thruxton has. The Thruxton will give you a backache on a longer ride. This one will not. This will be a little more forgiving. However, it is a little aggressive as compared to, say, the Scrambler or the Speed. So yes, doing about 150 odd kilometers at a stretch could be tedious, but for city rides, this is going to be fun. You can ride 30-40 kilometers straight. If that's your daily commuting, you will have a lot of fun. And given the nature of the motorcycle, you can also take it soft roading. You can't do hardcore off-roading. This is not a Scrambler. If that is what you are looking for, you should go for the Scrambler 400X or the XC, and that will give you a much better practical approach to off-road riding. But this can do a little bit of soft roading. You can ride it in mud, a little bit of bad patches of road. This will be fine, because the suspension also is a little stiff. It is not tuned to handle bad patches of road. It has been tuned to go faster you ride on a smoother surface, the better the suspension performs. In terms of fuel efficiency, Triumph claims that you will get about 27 to 28 kmpl. We were not able to ride as much to give you like a proper fuel efficiency number, but with whatever distance I was able to ride, you will get around 23 to 24 kmpl very easily. So for 2.46 lakhs ex showroom, you are getting a lot of kit with this motorcycle. All the features of the Tracker 400 will be on your screen. You do get a lot of rider tech as well. You have ride by wire throttle, torque assist clutch, switchable traction control, and ABS as well. So in terms of features, you are getting a lot with the Tracker 400, and I think the fit, finish, the quality of the switches and everything, it's really nice. You do feel like you have bought a premium motorcycle. And if you ask me who is this motorcycle for, so I think this is a perfect balance between the cafe racer and the street focused speed 400. So like the Thruxton and the speed, if the speed 400 is too relaxed and docile for you and the Thruxton is too aggressive for you, you can choose the Tracker 400. And you know, this will be like a mix of both worlds that you will get. And also this plate right here, the champion plate with the number 400, looks really attractive. It does catch a lot of attention, and if you're riding solo, you can also have this cowl on, so it does look like a very unique and different motorcycle. Do let us know, what do you think? If you have any questions, put them down in the comments below. Subscribe to Motoroids if you haven't already. Press the bell icon so that you get notified whenever we upload our next video. This is Vipul signing off. I will see you in the next one. Until then, rev hard, rev free, and ride safe.